お疲れ様です。お待たせいたしました。続いてのタイトル、移っていきましょう。スピンリズム XD となっております。こちらはカテゴリーが R のショーケースとなっておりますように、スピードラン、RTA というよりは、ショーケース、すごいものを見せますよみたいな、という感じの枠でございますかね。おそらくね。解説の方は現在いらっしゃいませんので、わかりますよという方とかいらっしゃいましたら、応募していただけると嬉しいですし、もちろん、チャット欄の方でコメントいただく分にも全然ありがたいという感じです。よろしくお願いいたします。このスピリズム XD を皮切りに、しばらく音楽ゲームが続きますので、
Speedrun
こ
Ragnarok
ちらもお楽しみ
2024,
に。
and we have a great block of music games coming up. Coming up right now, actually, we're going to have selcouthmind running a Spin Rhythm XD hard showcase. I am so looking forward to this. And I think a lot of you are also looking forward to it too, because in addition, we are also doing Neon Beats after that, and we're still looking for donations to get even more music games going. We are so close to unlocking the Citus Alpha Hidden Song Showcase. We're just about $6 away from that, so get your donations in. We are also looking for the Beatmania 2DX Infinitus video game bonus block. We're just started on that, $5 towards it, with a total of 150. It is not, in fact, IIDX. It is 2DX. There are only 2DX. There is no 3. We do not talk about the 3. So, sit tight for just a few more moments. We are almost ready to rock and roll with Spin Rhythm XD on Speedrun Ragnarok 2024.
スピンリズム XD、少しインターネットで調べてみました。スピンリズム XD は、ホイールを回してプレイするリズムゲーム。画面中央にレーンが縦に奥行きを持って配置される。サウンドボルテックスとか、チューニズムとか、アーキアとか、言えばわかりやすいですかね。のように奥行きを持って配置され、その下に円形のホイールの一部が表示されます。ホイールは赤と青、2色で交互に塗り分けられており、画面奥から手前に向かってレーン上を流れてくる、赤か青のノートの色に重ね合わせるように、ホイールを、右へ左へ回すというのが、基本の操作になるとのことです。だから、降ってくるノーツに対してボタンを押すんじゃなくて、降ってくるノーツに合わせて、こう、 た色に変える。もうフルーツが落ちてくるから、落ちてくる場所に合わせて顔を動かすみたいな、そういう感じなんですかね。多分。各ノートは、楽曲のリズムやフレーズに合わせて配置されており、ホイールの色と合わせるだけでいい種類なのか、ホイール捉えたタイミングでボタン入力が必要なもの、ホイールを右や左へ勢いよく回すことを求めるものもありますと。で、そういうのを成功するために、スコアを獲得して本物発生するけど、ミスすると、体力が減って、でゼロになった楽曲の途中でもゲームオーバーですよ。ビートマニア 2DX のハードゲージみたいな。後ろで合ってるのかな、これは。
4, 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back. We are here with Spin Rhythm XD for Speedrun Ragnarok 2024 benefiting Take This. We have selcouthmind at the controls and Zokaban on the couch. Why don't we say hi?
画面が来ましたね。
Well, hello there. As said, my name is selcouthmind, but you can call me Cell. And joining me on commentary to be my voice is the wonderful Zokaban.
Hello. I think I once made this joke to you, Cell, that the only instrument I know how to play is my voice, and we're sure making good use of it today.
Indeed we are. So, this is Spin Rhythm XD, hard difficulty showcase. I've got a nice little set list of songs to play for you. I want to see dance modes in chat, so chat, get those ready, dance along. It's just fantastic soundtrack we've got. But it's really hard to play. I can't talk and play this at the same time, so Zoki's going to be explaining everything, going to be walking you through things, and we're just going to have a great time.
And chat, I do want to let you know that there is a bit of a flashing light warning for this game. So, if you are someone who might not be able to handle that, that's okay. Feel free to turn away for a bit and just enjoy the music, because there's a lot of good music to enjoy on this showcase.
Absolutely. Which, speaking of that, I think it's time for Lights, Camera, Action, our first song. So, I'm going to mute up, because I sometimes make noises while I play, so y'all don't need to hear that. You can enjoy the music. Ahsoka will explain things, but I will meet up after I count us in for the timer. So time will begin in 3, 2, 1.
Break a
はい
legs.
グッドラック GL です。
All right, so let's get this show on the road. You are watching Spin Rhythm XD, SRXD for short, but also frequently affectionately called
も
Speed.
うね、
As
さ
you
っき
can
も
see,
話し
it's
た通
very
りで
much
す
a
ね。
music game with multiple notes. This is out on multiple platforms. When Cell got me started on this,
赤
it
と青が
wasn't
交
early
互に
access
配置
testing,
され
but
た
no, you
ホ
can
イ
get
ー
it
ルを
on
回して
Steam, for the
流れ
Mac,
てくるノーツに
Switch, on the
合わ
PS4,
せ
5,
合わせに
apparently
行く
PS VR as well. So, you know, if you're liking what you see, please feel free to go ahead and give this a
で
try.
矢印が書い
Now,
てある
as
と
you
き
can
は
see, the core gameplay of this is
そ
that
の
you're
方向
turning
に
that two-tone
ホ
color
イール
wheel
を
on
回
the
すの
bottom
かな
of the screen to match the notes as they come on you. Most written games on PC,
な
they
ん
tend
か
to use a
こういう
keyboard
回すみたいな
controller
動き
as
だ
the
と
primary input
プロの
device.
サークルを思い出し
You know,
ますけ
you
ど
gotta hit the buttons at the right time. This game does allow for multiple input device options. So, like, you can do keyboard only, you can do gamepad. I mentioned the Switch earlier, and there are people who, to my amazement, play this with the
面
Joy-Con.
自体も
There are
結
people,
構
but
こ
because of
う
that
動きがある
accessibility option, you can
ですね。
also
まっすぐなの
change
が
it up.
配置され
You
てい
may
る
have
よ
seen
り
people play
は
this on a DJ
途中途中
turntable
でなんか
before.
斜めに
But
動い
most
ていったり
commonly, you can
して
use
ますね。
keyboard and mouse movement. That is what Cell is using to play today. Our first song, Omega Neko, is actually one of the hardest songs in today's set list. And I'm sure you've been seeing the notes fly down the track and wondering what the heck is going on. So let me go ahead and explain these gameplay mechanics to you real quick. You're going to see 7 different types of notes in today's showcase. First, we've got these dots here. These are called match notes. You just have to line up the wedges on the color wheel on the bottom as they fly at you. Then you've got you just saw the rectangle one heading into the long trail. The rectangle ones are tap notes, so you've got to click when they meet the wheel. The long trails are hold notes, so you got to click when the rectangle hits and hold all the way through to the end of the trail. There was a release note earlier, which is a hold note, but you have to specifically let go at the end of the trail or it counts as a miss, and we hate misses. There's a hold note. Now, you've also seen those, like right here, those big arrows going all the way to one side or the other side of the track, and that is a spin note. You got to move the mouse in the same direction to spin the wheel when those come up. And then the rainbow ones, where they go back and forth in both directions, that's a spin note. And before there was the rainbow one, that is a scratch note. And for those, you're going to want to wiggle your mouth back and forth for the length of the entire section. Now, Indigo, I'm going to use you here as our audience surrogate. Are you keeping up with us?
I'm sorry, I've gone completely cross-eyed.
You know what? That's absolutely fair, because in this game there is a lot to keep track of, and that's why one of the great things about this is that you can go up slowly through the difficulty levels. Today's showcase is a hard level showcase. But there are 5 difficulty levels in Spin Rhythm, going from easy, normal, hard, expert, and XD. So hard is like sort of right in the middle, but as you can see from Cell's excellent gameplay, look at that combo size, by the way. Hard, even though it's in the middle, is still hard. It's in the name. All right, fingers crossed. Let's take a look at the results screen. Nice, solid first performance. And now we're going to... Now, I've just said that Lights, Camera, Action was one of the hardest songs in the set list. By difficulty rating, this current song, New Game by Nitro Fun, is actually probably the easiest song in the set list. That doesn't mean
曲芸
anything, though,
ご
if
と
you're
に
like
背
me and
景
can
が
only play
結構
normal
違うん
difficulty.
ですかね。
But, and I'm going to ask Cell to hold off onto the score screen at the end of this song. But let's talk a little bit about the UI, the user interface that you see here. So on the left, you have the combo bar. Combos give you a score multiplier. The longer you hold a combo, and you can see that combo meter building up on the bottom of the combo bar, the greater it'll be. And it goes up to 4 times the points. And conversely, every time you miss a note, it'll drop down by 1 level. So, like, if Cell were to miss one right now, which she's not because she's heckin' amazing at this game, you would go down to 3 times the score multiplier. And then another note would bring you back down to 2 until you built it up to 3 or 4 again, and so on and so forth. There's a scratch, by the way. So, you know, if you go cross-eyed at that, I absolutely understand. You might also notice that there's a little star under the multiplier. It starts out as blue for a perfect full combo. If you happen to miss the timing, but you still hit the note, you can still get a full combo, and that's the empty green star. But if you like miss a single note, then the star goes away completely. So that's an easy visual indicator for how you're doing on combos.
結構こう背景が
Is the health bar, because yes, this is
力が入ってるのがよく見てて、
I'm reminded with that I forgot to talk
なんか
about
没入感ありそうですけど、同時に
all over the place here today.
こう
The green line
パ
that
ソコン
you've
とか
seen occasionally, that's a beat. There's a beat.
その
Right?
辺の
So these
ス
beats,
ペックは必要そうに見えますね。
use the mouse to swish, like back and forth,
Yeah,
like the color
yeah,
wheel,
yeah,
go back and
yeah.
forth on the spin notes, the scratch notes. The beats use the spacebar. That's where you use the keyboard. If you're like me and have problems processing multiple inputs, then yeah, it takes a while to get the hang of, but it's really satisfying to hit that beat. And so I'm going to ask you here to stop a little, or actually, you know what? We were going to take a break after the next song. So please go ahead and continue on to our third track of the set list, and we'll talk about the score screen right after that.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
I love when the game just sort of feeds me reminders. Hey, you forgot to talk about this. And now we're going to remind you once again. But here, let's take a look on the right side. That is the health bar. Every time you miss a note, it takes a hit. And when it runs out, you failed the track. When I first started talking to Sel about this game, she had never had it happen to her. On this difficulty, I'm not sure if she's suffered it since, because now she plays an expert, which is slightly different. Oh, and there you go, there's the combo meter dropping. But we quickly build it back up to 4-time multiplier again. But as you can see, just like the combo bar recharges as you hit more notes, so does the health bar. So you could easily save yourself from a bad run as compared to something like a DDR Life 4, where every time you miss a note, you lose a chunk of the health bar, and you are not getting it back. But if you do miss enough notes, and you're not going to see this happen, because again, Cell is really good at this difficulty, the chart does phase out for a short time, so you're unable to earn any score. This is a setting that you can change, but they do that so you can sort of like regain your balance, especially if you're the kind of game player like me who just sort of like freezes and shakes their head. Actually, Indigo, I'm going to ask you a question here, because we talked a little right before the showcase, and you said you were a rhythm game enjoyer yourself. What kind of rhythm game player are you when things just aren't going your way?
I'm a slam the reset button kind of gamer.
Rude. Absolutely, we're not keeping this on our record. And then, of course, lastly at the bottom is the track info. You can see the song title, then the artist info, and also a timeline to see how far along in the song you are. I also want to shout out the background real quick, because this game has a unique background for every track. And some of them kind of look like Winamp visualizers, which, you know, appeals to my 2000s kid heart. But some of them also have special shoutouts, as we'll get into when we hit those tracks. In the meanwhile, though, if you've got time for, we've got time for like a quick message. If you've got one, Indigo.
All right, I'm going to just check in on. All right, so we did get a donation, $25 from Trainer Anade. And it looks like we did hit that hidden song showcase for Citus Alpha, so I am so happy about that. We are good there, and we've got a little bit more towards the Dijon catch-up sing-along for Rock Band 3. But Trainer Anade says, have fun, Cell, and Dino Dance, Dino Dance, Dino Dance.
どうなんでしょう。奏者さんがどのコントローラーを使ってるかわかんないですけど、
Everybody dance.
PC なので、
Not in that sense,
もしかしたらそういう、
very good.
いわゆるマウスとキーボードじゃないもんやってる
Yes, Dino Dance.
かもしれないですね。
Tell us about the score screen here while we got a few moments.
All right. Well, this is actually a little different. Do we have access to like the
Right,
full
to-
score screen?
Not
Or,
scarce. スキヤスい
They changed that.
not anymore.
ゲーム、
Ooh,
リズムゲームかも
that's fun.
しれ
So
ない
let's
な
talk
と思っ
about
てき
this
まし
score
た。
screen then. So you can see a rating, of course, and the
なんか
way Spin Rhythm XD
複
gives
数
you
の
box is every time you score a little higher,
操作を同時に求められ
track
ない
cumulative progress. So it feels really,
気
really
が
good
し
to
ます
be
ね。見てる感じ。
better.
赤と青のノーツは一緒に振ってこないし。
Definitely. So like right now you see Cell's got an A, but like they
そ
will
れは
obviously note, hey, you've got a new high score, and so on
や
and
っ
so
て
forth.
みればそんなに
You can
難し
also
くな
see
い
the
のかも
percentage of
しれな
the
い。
accuracy percentage, and down there is the little timeline.
Yeah, so this is different from what Zoku remembers last time they commentated for me. This was before 1.0 release. So now they've simplified it to if it's empty, that means that there was a miss in that chunk. If it's full, that means they were all perfect. And if it's sort of like with lines in the middle of it, that means there was no misses, but it wasn't all perfect. So that's what that means now. They've sort of simplified it. I think you can access a more complicated one, but that might be under practice tool.
That makes sense.
But I think it's time for us to go to a showdown. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. You know what? I've got my dukes up. I see chat's got some of their dukes up. Let's get some more Dino Dance emos in chat because that little dino is putting those fists up.
Ready?
ああ、なるほど。緑何なんだろうと思ってたんですよね。
So this song here is actually one of Cell's favorites for good reason. So
で
I'm
す
just gonna
か。
sit back
は
for a
あはあ
bit.
は
I'm gonna let the music play, and I want you all to jam out in chat.
ノーツが降ってくる場所の全体に対して降ってくる細いやつ。これがスペースバーをタイミングよく押して取るノーツみたいですね。なるほど。
It really is, and that groove is actually made this like easily one of my favorites when I started playing this game. So you might see that there are some notes at the end of those spin sections. Again, spin sections are the light blue or purple with the arrows pointing in either to the left or the right of the screen. And then there's like sometimes a little note at the end of that. You might be wondering, okay, well, if you've got to swipe your mouse in whatever direction to get the wheel to spin for those, how do you make sure it stops on the right wedge for when for whatever that last thing is? And it automatically locks. So that's a nice, easy feature. You don't have to worry too much about that. You just have to make sure that you click the button at the right time. On the other hand, if you click too soon, you will stop the wheel wherever you are in the middle of that spin section. So you'll have to manually align, and that can break your combo. Like any rhythm game, one of the best parts is the charts and how they interplay with the music. If you look up Spin Rhythm XD, this game has been out, officially out for about like a year and a half at this point. But you'll see like a lot of the compliments for this game is how this game makes it easy to interface with the music, how you are actually grooving and moving, literally moving to the music, but like not in, say, the dance pad sense. Because this is accessible and you can just play this on PC once again. So pay attention like to how like these notes, like the holds and the matches especially, but like when you spin or when you go from side to side, like the little beats, they trail along from back and forth, and the hold patterns vary. It is a game where you can move with the music, and that is part of what makes it such fun to watch. Now we're going to continue to funk with our next track, which is Ginger Lizard by Opuo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But if you are familiar with rhythm games, then you are probably familiar with a lot of Japanese doujin artists. So people like everyone's favorite Camellia. That's just off the top of my head. Psyche. Trying to think right now.
Iosis.
Thank you so much, Iosis. do you have any particular favorites? Well, I am like clearly just not looking up my own personal library of
Oh, it
music.
has been a long time since I've been in that scene. My only
Fair
reason
enough.
I know Iosis is because of the Toho project stuff, and I've been playing a lot of Toho Mahjong, so that comes up every once in a while.
But Toho music is great, and remind me, isn't there like a couple of Toho music games?
More than a few. More than you would think.
Clearly, I need to delve into that side of things more. But like people like you, Yuta Imai, Kobaryo, Sao, Lapix, Homarju, Rusketch, you may be familiar with some of those names from other games, whether that is Konami's Bimani series or say some of the stuff coming up in our upcoming schedule, like the Citus showcase coming up later by Zelo, which again, thank you all so much for unlocking that hidden song showcase. But of course, we still have another incentive coming up. Remind me what that was again, Indigo?
We have the Rock Band Dijon sing-along for Dijon Ketchup's run during Rock Band 3, and the game block boost towards the 2DX Infinitus run with Sparkover. So please get those donations in. We're about 20% of the way through the Rock Band donation at $19.44 out of $100, and we are still sitting on that $5 for that Beatmania 2DX extras. So please get those in.
Absolutely. You don't want to miss a single track that any of these fantastic players have selected to display. But speaking of fantastic tracks, so I was just talking about Dojin artists, which you will hear a lot of if you get those unlocked, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to. I want you to. I want everybody to. Because music heals people. But you know what else heals people?
緑と
Provide
紫は
education on mental illness so that
う
friends,
ちの方向
family
に
members,
回し
and
続け
loved
な
ones
さい
can be
で、
better allies to those who are suffering. So go
オ
ahead
レ
and
ン
check
ジ
out
は、
takethis.org.
左右にめちゃくちゃ回しなさい
Here,
かな。
because every penny we get goes to them.
でこのリザルトに出てくるバーはどれだけうまく取れてますかっていうやつですね。
We are.
多分
So,
指糸とか
we mentioned that this
シアト
game
リ
is
ズムと
called
か
Spin
あの
Rhythm.
辺
At the
にある
start, I mentioned that
同
the
時
game is
ですかね。
officially called Speen. A lot of focus on the spinning, you know, with like the spinning, the color wheel at the bottom. And Spin Cycle as a song is a bit of a meme in the
した後
community
の
itself
ま
because
あ赤とか青と
it
かの
is
反
it
応
very
つ
clearly references the
送
game
ってく
title
るところ
so
はどうなんで
accurately.
しょう。
Um,
さすがに
Sam has chosen
自
this
動で
song
合わせてくれてい
for
る
a
の
set list because it showcases tempo changes. So I'm gonna try my best to like, shut up when that happens. But I'm gonna do a quick bounce back, just a quick moment, to talking about the music selection that you can find, because you may have noticed that like a lot of the artists that Cell has brought up so far, the tracks that she has selected, they're not the usual Japanese names. Now, Camellia, I believe Psyche with Akira Complex, Rest in Peace, do have tracks in here. But a lot of these tracks are from Monster Cat, that electronic label. You'll hear a lot of electronic music in this game, but they are also copyright free. So you just get a lot of great music that you can listen to without having to worry about, say, copyright issues. And here we are. We have sped up in this track. So Spin Cycle, as mentioned, very self-referential title, but also laundry.
ありがとうございます。
And you can see that reference in the
回
background
転は
with
視
all the
点
laundry machines.
で勢いよく振るはない。その後の、赤か青がのちっちゃいのが降ってきたら自動でラインが合うようになっても優しいゲーム。なるほど。視
And
点
now
って
we
いう
go
のは
slow down just again.
矢印が出てるタイミングですかね。
And you can see how the note chart changes to match that. Now, speaking of note charts, Spin and of course the community, Spin Rhythm has a
要されるんですけ
extremely
ど、
active community. Like obviously you might expect that from like
この
any
円のやつ、自分が操作してる部分、下のところで曲の長さも書いてあれば、今どの辺ですよっていう文字もあるんですね。
called Remix D, where people can were able to submit their own charts for base game songs before this went out of early access. And the winners were added to the game in future updates. They had community tournaments. There's also a custom scene on SpinShare for like your own songs. So the devs are very, very nice, full combo.
Hey,
Very good.
new best. That's what it looks like.
96.5%.
Hey.
Yes.
Pretty good.
We love PBs.
Oh, to be fair, this is one that I have mostly played in expert difficulty, so not surprised I PB'd on hard here. Yeah.
I mentioned I can only do up to normal. You're doing amazing stuff.
As I take a brief break here before I go into the hardest song of the showcase, Spin Cycle is a game that's default, has been around for a while, but this is specifically the Netcavi remix, which is quite new. It's one of the newer songs they've added. There's been updates since 1.0 release, and we get some new songs every once in a while, and this has been one of them, and it's certainly one of my new favorites because it's fun.
When you brought up the tempo changes while we were talking before, like once it hit, it was like, oh yeah, no, this is nice.
Yes, and the original doesn't have that tempo change, so that is a remix decision, and I love it.
Tempo changes make everything fun.
Mhm.
And by fun, I mean I've lost so many quarters that stupid thing in Legend of Max.
But yeah, it's a nice sub 3-minute song, which means, hey, you fail, you just try again. But speaking of short songs, Zoku, do you believe?
Oh, I mean, I believe you can do it.
Chat, I'm gonna need you to believe in me, because, oh boy, we're going on to this next song. Favorite artist in the game. But, oh boy, I am nervous. I'm gonna shush and get ready to go.
All right, chat, let's take a deep breath and let's also get those dance emotes ready. Once again, this is Believe by Teminite. Teminite, an artist that you did see a little earlier with third song in the set list, collabed with Panda Eyes for high score. But this was previously the hardest song of the game, still one of the hardest songs. So I did talk about the length that you can see underneath on the bottom of the UI. You can see this one is a hefty 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Whereas our previous tracks have been like mostly around like a little over the 2 minutes to 3 minute mark. As far as accessibility goes, along with like increasing the different types of notes that you have as you increase your difficulty, one of the things that Spin Rhythm does is it can also occasionally increase track length. So this 5 minute 41 seconds actually still isn't the full length of the song. I believe in XD, which is again the hardest difficulty in the game, you will get the full length, and it is over 6 minutes, but over 5 minutes and 41 seconds is still a hefty length for any rhythm game song. Most of them tend to cap out at about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, back in the DDR and old school 2DX, you'd be lucky if you got over 2 minutes. Most of them were 90 seconds or less.
Yeah, and of course you got to play through this full thing. Again, hardest difficulty, which is why, chat, I know we all believe in Cell, but get those dance emotes in to show how much you believe in her. Now, Teminite, I mentioned, an artist that features kind of frequently on Monster Cat, actually, and so you'll see a number of tracks by Teminite on the Spin Rhythm track list if you were to buy this game and play it. Very, very skilled instrumentalist. Very, very skilled producer. And this... We just had a song that like changed tempos midway. This one shifts the genre a little. It'll turn a little jazzy in a bit, and you're gonna hear a sax solo, and that is, if you believe the music video, I believe the music video, chat. I believe everything I see. If you believe the music video, Tem Knight did play that sax himself. So, once that sax drops, I want you all to dance. But in the meanwhile, if we've got any more messages, donations, or heck, tell me about some more fantastic prizes or incentive updates, I'd love to hear any of that.
Well, we do have prizes today still. We have a Steam code for 1-Bit Heart, courtesy of Transkina. And we have a Steam code for Blacktail, courtesy of Margaret Ann. If you donate, you will be in the running for those, so please make sure you get those in. And our own Dijon Ketchup is in the chat, you know, talking about the song length, and yeah, we want Dijon Ketchup to sing. We really want him to sing. So get those donations in for that sing-along.
Oh yes, Stairs and Rock Band, Guitar Hero song, like with songs that long, you definitely want to hear her sing.
Yes.
Make her suffer. That's what we're here for, suffering for charity.
My apologies. I did not mean to misgender you. Dijon Ketchup in the chat. I apologize.
And here we go with that sax. So drop those dance
おはよ
emails
うご
for
ざい
me,
ます。
please.
時刻は6時ちょっと前。外を見ると、ちょっと、朝になってきたかな、みたいな感じでございます。現在はスピンリズム XD のカードショーケースをやっております。
Now, I still have immense difficulty playing this track on normal because I am a babby rhythm gamer. But something that always astounds me every time I watch Cell play it is just the way that the notes flow back and forth across the track. It really does feel like in that jazzy mood to me.
Saxophone.
You did it, so!
Oh, only 2 misses. I am pleased with that.
And a solid effort on the end there.
Yes!
Nice.
That is unbelievable, chat, because the amount of time I spent practicing this song, the fact that I just got a PB on this one, hey, let's go. I feel like I'm in a daydream.
Congrats!
Very good job.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we need to calm down.
Take a small breather, yeah.
With one of the newest additions to the game that's tied into one of the brand new DLC you can get. There's a surprise to this track visually. You'll see it immediately. I'm not gonna tell you what. I'm gonna take a sip of water and then we're gonna jump into it.
Well, let's talk a little about this because this does actually tie into the music thing I was talking about earlier. Monster Cat, a lot of artists, as we mentioned, Kevin Knight, Panda Eyes, I believe Hyper Potions, Opio Fool, all Monster Cat artists. You might notice that the album cover for this track says Chill Hop. Yeah, you might be familiar with that label. And that is, in fact, the Chill Hop mascot, the raccoon, hanging out in the background.
なんか生き物がいる。
All right, before I jam out too much to this, let's talk a little bit more about accessibility, because we did just see Cell play the hardest song in set, one of the hardest songs in the game, formerly the absolutely hardest song in the game. And you might be wondering, wow, that's a little hard, that's a little much for me. No problem. Spin Rhythm is a highly customizable game. You can change the color settings, you can change the binds. I mentioned that someone has played this on a full DJ turntable before at the start of the set. But someone's apparently played this with a steering wheel before? And the easy stages were specifically calibrated for any player to be able to dive into rhythm games and enjoy. So just like we're taking it easy with this song,
このアライグマがスタンプと見比べて
learn to enjoy and grow
それかっこいい
into
ですね。
rhythm games. I'm seeing chat talk about the different controllers, and I do believe the person mentioned is not the person who played it on the steering wheel. I would have to look that up again. But I think this has been played with a DJ Hero turntable before, along with a full MIDI.
大きいアライグマ。可愛いですね。
Now, let's also talk about more of that accessibility thing. You don't actually need to fully rotate it, because you can see there's only two colors. You can just sort of wiggle back and forth into whatever is closest. So as long as you can do a scratch motion, you can easily play this game. But we can see more, once again, this map, very strong emphasis on how the chart tries to match with the music. So lots of beats when those snare drums drop. Just easy flowing notes going from side to side. I see chat is asking, what about the spinny arrows in cyan and purple? So on a mouse, when you're using the mouse to play that, you just have to swipe once to the right or left. As long as you swipe hard enough, the game will register it as a spin as the input. And another PB! Let's go, Sal!
Again,
Very cool.
side effect, I haven't done this one on hard much. Mostly been playing it on expert. But anyways, chat, do you like Celeste?
No, this isn't a community that would be okay with Celeste at all. Speedrunners like Celeste? Never.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
But yes, this is an official Celeste track by Lena Raine herself! And this was specifically mixed, this Broken Heart mix was specifically made for Spin Rhythm XD. So you will only find it here, and of course, her YouTube channel, but I mean, really. we're here for music games, not mountain climbing. But speaking of mountain climbing, let's talk about that background again a little, because we talked about the visualizers, we talked about the raccoons in just the last track. I enjoy the Winnet visualizations, but this is specifically meant to call up images of a mountain, and as Cell specifically pointed out to me, they've added the pixelated clouds, so you really get that mountain imagery. They didn't have that before, but also combined with the way the path winds, and that winding doesn't actually do anything. That I have played rhythm games where you do actually have to move along with the path. No, it's just a visual effect. But it does create an additional sense of movement, the way the track sort of winds at the end. Speaking of Celeste, though, again, very, very popular in the speedrunning and the speedrunning charity-thon scene. Indigo, if you got anything more for us?
Well, I am going to double check on all that, but again, we are still looking for donations for the rest of these music game block here today. But looking forward, we also have blindfolded Gabranth and Dr. Sid fights for Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. We have upgrades for the Landstalker run. And also a 3-heart challenge for the OG Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Not the remake, the original one on Game Boy. So get those donations in. We're looking forward to that. It all goes to Take This.
Yeah, Speedrun Ragnarok 2024 really has a stacked schedule for an amazing cause. And actually, since we're leading off into like an amazing rhythm block chat, I want to hear about your favorite rhythm games in the donation. So absolutely, please send them in to Take This, and have Indigo tell me all about them.
Yeah, make me pronounce stuff that I can't pronounce.
What is your favorite rhythm game, by the way, Indigo? Because we talked a little about this, and you're a rhythm game enjoyer, but now I'm putting you out there. You're gonna have to let chat know.
Oh yeah, no, you gotta just dump me into this, don't you? So
also, congrats on the full combo!
Very good job.
And so, while we have a tiny break here, I want to ask what your favorite rhythm game is, because I know you are very skilled at these as well.
I mean, I'm biased. It's Spin Rhythm. It's the best rhythm game I've played.
Certainly is the best one I've seen so far today. That's the joke. Anyway,
Are you ready? 2, 1, go!
oh, favorite rhythm game. There's always going to be a soft spot in my heart for poppin' music, but I think recently the one
や
that
ば、
I've
見立て
enjoyed
る
the most has
全然
been
見えん。感覚が
Groove
狭い。
Coaster or even Toho Spell Bubble, which is kind of
Very
a
strong
strange one to
choices.
say. It's a weird cross between a rhythm game and Bust a Move. Oh, and that's even another one too, Buster Groove.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Yep.
Speaking of throwback, let's go back to talking about difficulties here. This is Flight, and this is the second hardest song we have in the set list. Wow, I lost where I was going with that for a moment there. But not Cell. Cell is completely in control. At the start of the showcase, I mentioned Mega Neko was one of the hardest songs in the showcase. You might have seen it was a difficulty level 17. This is also a difficulty level 17. Also fairly long, capping in at 3.5 minutes. But it's got a lot of jumping back and forth. And as we head into, well, actually, we're here in the second minute right now. So we're seeing a lot of jumping back and forth across the track with the match notes. And sorry, I love that punctuation part. But just to go back again to talking about how you can like use key binding to make this work with like just about any controller setup you want to. You're seeing that Cell drags the wheel back and forth, uses the same wedge to continue on across between when the notes jumps from left to right. But because you only have 2 colors to go back and forth from, that means you can do fun little tricks. It's like, and this was one of my favorite things to do when it made me feel so accomplished as a spin rhythm player. Which spin rhythm quickly became one of my favorites. Speaking of, so I want you to get those donations and I want to hear your favorites, chat. But you can just shift the wedge over from like the other end of the wheel and use a different wedge of the same color. And just there are all sorts of ways to play this game, and feel really accomplished at it, and that is part of the fun and the challenge, because again, right now, Cell is juggling 7 different kinds of inputs in their head. And we talked about difficulty, which ranges from level 8 to 18. This is again a level, hard difficulty ranges from level 8 to 18. This is again a level 17 song. The hardest difficulty, XD, goes all the way up to, I believe, over 30 at this point, like maybe 32. But there are a little bit of overlap between levels. So in this game, you can slowly grow up into higher difficulties. And another PB! You are killing it today, Sal!
With 3 misses somehow. Okay. Oh. All right. Before we head into the final song, what are we at for time?
I think we're good for
It
that.
looks like we're at 40 minutes on the clock.
All right. Okay. So will I stretch quickly here? So, because we're talking about accessibility, you can also fully customize the colors of everything. You can also, like, if those backgrounds are too flashy for you, you can turn them off. They have, like, really nice, simple, fairly static, calm ones. You can customize this to make it accessible for you, for your needs. With that being said, I think we should go on adventure chat. Get your phones out. Get your lighters out. Let's I don't know. How do people do that in chat? I don't know. Zoku, you're the talker. Go.
All right, chat. We are winding down the set. We are beginning to vibe our way out. But as Cell just said, what is life but an adventure? So let's do whatever the chat equivalent is of waving the flashlights on your phones, waving a lighter back before flashlights on phones were a thing. Or you know what? I think our equivalent is basically dance emotes. So show me your best dance emotes!
Show us your moves. Wait, wrong game.
Oh, no, perfectly accurate. Because we have started the rhythm block here. This is currently our penultimate song, Adventures, by Hyper Potions and Subtac. It is a very... Sorry, it's just a very sweet track that really does feel like you're going on a journey. It really does have that mood. Every song in this game is a mood, and I feel like I'm being hyperbolic, but I don't know, Indigo. You've been here with me. How have you felt about tracks?
Oh, it's great. I was just gonna say this one's deceptively high intensity for just being 80 beats per minute. And it's a nice little groove, yeah.
It really is. Like I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned the high intensity and the actual BPM. But yeah, no, this is this really does just suck you in. I hope you are all waving those dance emotes. That's our chat equivalent of lighters. Please be waving those dance emotes in chat for me. I want to see all of them.
We got Dino Dance, we've got EP.
Jam emotes, music emotes. Is that a Baba dance emote?
Baba is dance.
Baba is dance.
All right. Well,
Oh, I see. It's all lined up for us.
It is. This is a nice little thing it's done. That normally is where the set list ends, but you know, what would an event be?
Such great.
What would an event be without a little after party?
Yeah, I think they deserve a reward.
I think we need a little after party. So, can I see
そうです
those
ね。割と
arms in chat?
EDM
That-
系の曲が
Let's get
メイン
this
とは
shit
いう、
ready for a party. A pirate party.
まあ、その中でも
Are you all
あ
ready
落
to
ち着い
set
た感じ
sail?
の曲は実際多いですね。いい曲多いんですけどね。まあ、
And yar.
眠くなってきた方が
So this
寝る
is
のも
Pirate
いいと思い
Party.
ま
It
す。
is one
体を大事にしてほしいから。
from Tammin Knight's Raise the Black Flag
あ
album.
イベント終わった後の話ですけど、まあアーカイブは残りますので、
It's leading you slowly in
作り
here,
ま
but
す
it
ので、
picks up really
大
quickly
丈夫
past
で
the
す。
first minute. You'll see the background is sunken pirate ships, and I am going to spend a lot of this time just sort of dancing with you all from the comfort of my chair. But just real quick, I'm going to ask you all, chat, to make sure you're dancing. Get out the bottle of rum or water. Stay hydrated while you're dancing, chat. But also note how many mash notes are here, because this song is fun and the chart is just as fun. It is here to party. I see Dama Plays Games in chat saying the rest of the album has been done as customs. Yes, thank you so much for letting me know that. Because that reminds me, I did not talk about customs. The Spin Rhythm community, I'm gonna brush that out here at the very end, but the Spin Rhythm community, super involved, super excited for this game. They do a lot of custom charts. I talked about, like, I think 32 is probably the highest official level in game, but you'll see much more difficult charts done for customs for all the songs you want, including a lot of popular favorites. I think one of the first things I looked up was, do they have a chart for Pearl Angel Spaces? Because I'm that kind of geek. But this is absolutely a fantastic scene. So if you are liking what you see, absolutely, please go check out Spin Rhythm. Do not check out the mobile game though. Switch, Steam, PlayStation, any of those. Mobile game is a completely different beast. We don't talk about the mobile game here. But here we are. We are heading into my favorite part of this chart. The long trails of mash notes. So I again want to see all those dance emotes in chat, please.
And that is time.
GG, so.
Very, very good.
Let's go. That was fun. Well, thank you all. I hope you all enjoyed this showcase. Spin Rhythm XD is hands down, I think, the best rhythm game I have ever played. I won't say I've played a ton of them, but at least on PC, it is the best one I've found, especially as like a classically trained musician. It just makes sense to my brain. It's very, very good. please come check it out. It's got a great community. We got tons of customs. The game itself is completely
おタイマーが止まっておりますね。
accessibility reasons, all those great things. Please,
ホッ
please.
トゲームでございます。
While I'm taking a quick
GG.
drink, Zoku, do you have anything to shout out?
I guess shout out first. Thank you, Cell, for having me as your commentary for this and like, getting me into this game. Also, shout outs to Rewarder Drawer, who I first referenced the first time you asked me to commentate for you, and to Lady Arcaders for putting us together on as commentary on this game.
Yeah. Thank you for being my voice, because as I said, I can't talk and play at the same time. But with that being said, if you want to see more of me, you can find me on Twitch at selcouthmind, or you can find all of my socials at my website, selcouthmind.neocities.org. If you want to see me playing more of this, I'm going to be doing it in a marathon later this month called Preventathon, where there's a possibility that you'll get to see me play expert difficulty. So if that sounds interesting to you, come check out the event. Come watch, because I love this game. I love showing off, and yeah, it's great times. I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah. Thank you, Valkyries, for having me.
Thank you, Valks.
Enjoy Rhythm Block, everyone.
And thank you as well, selcouthmind and Zokubun, for that wonderful block start to our block party, I guess you could call it, here at Speedrun Ragnarok 2024. That was Spin Rhythm XD. We got a lot more coming up, but we also are looking to keep the party rocking. Do people still say that anymore? I don't know. But we did unlock the Citus Alpha Showcase, the Hidden Song Showcase. And we are working on the Dijon Ketchup Sing-Along for Rock Band 3. We're at $19.44 out of 100 needed for that. We're also looking for some video game bonus block for Beatmania 2DX Infinitus. So please get your donations in. They go to a great cause. And we will be back very, very shortly with Neon Beats with Alice Rajasu. So please stick around.
はい。スピンリズム XT でございました。音ゲーナーの曲が大変よろしかった。PC で今回は走られてましたけど、Nintendo Switch とか PlayStation の、VR かなとかでも遊べるようですので、気になる方はチェックしてみてください。それでは次のタイトルの準備移りますので、しばらくお待ちください。